Have you ever known a person who was born as a female and over time naturally changed into a male, or vice versa? As far as I know, that has never taken place in the history of humanity. Therefore, it's not natural, and it's not in God's plan for that to occur. God doesn't make mistakes. That being said, I will ask you also, have you ever experienced yourself to be more than this body? I certainly have and do. I believe that I'm a spirit and that I'm a soul driving around a body. It's a vehicle for this physical experience. So, I am both body and soul. Or rather, the soul impacts the body and the body impacts the soul, but I identify as the soul. I am not the body. What I'm getting at is that we live in a secular world where only the body is acknowledged for the most part. In medicine, it's the body that we are told that we are. You are the body. Now, in ancient cultures and cultures past, throughout history, there have been civilizations who have acknowledged the existence of humans who have an experience of being a masculine soul inside of a female vessel, a female body, and vice versa. And this is today what we are referring to as trans people, right? Trans people have always existed in that way. This is a type of human being. There are most women, most female bodies have residing within them a spirit or a soul which also identifies and feels feminine. And most masculine male bodies, right, have residing within them a spirit or a soul which identifies as and feels masculine. But then there is another kind of human which is real and is valid, that has a female body with a soul residing in it that feels male, and vice versa. It's a real thing because people tell you it's real. That's how you know. Internal experiences are valid and real. Okay, just because you can't measure it with a ruler doesn't mean it's not real. Doesn't mean it's not impacting the world around you. Obviously it is. Look at everybody fighting, arguing. That being said, there are also nefarious people who have taken advantage of this fact and seeded confusion into the culture on purpose to make money off of it. Confuse children about, hey, did you know that this is a thing that happens sometimes? That people feel like they're in the wrong body? Well, first off, you're never in the wrong body. You're in the body God put you in. So the problem is not that you're in the wrong body if you have this feeling. The problem is that you live in a culture that tells you you are your body, and so that if you're feeling you're in the wrong body, you need to change it. No. This is a valid type of human. This is my perspective. And some people call it two-spirit. You know, we like to label things. And labels help us identify and talk about things. So it's okay. It's not necessarily bad to label things. But I feel that because we are not honoring all of the different kinds of human experiences, this is the problem. This is the problem underlying everything, is that we're not acknowledging that we are spirits and souls inside of a body. If our culture recognized that and realized that, I don't think we would be having the chaos around this issue that we are today, and I don't think we would be physically transitioning people. That's the crime that's being committed against quote-unquote trans people, is that we've made people feel like they are in the wrong body in the first place, instead of just allowing people to embrace themselves fully and love themselves fully. We say you are only your body, and therefore if there's some misalignment between your physicality and your inner experience of femininity or masculinity, then you need to change this outer thing. I'm a person who, by all accounts, is androgynous in my appearance, in my presentation. I just look, I have a very boyish figure, but I also have a vagina, and I have, XX chromosomes, and I have a period, and I can make a baby. So physically, I'm female, but spiritually, on a spirit level, my soul, I feel actually quite balanced. I'm not a super feminine in my spirit, in my energy. I'm not a super feminine person, human. I'm also not super masculine, So I am androgynous. But my body, which I am not my body is female. And I embrace all of that. I've never felt like I need to change anything about myself, including my gender pronouns. I just I am my name. I'm Shalom. There is no other Shalom. So yeah, I just we need to recognize that we aren't our bodies, and we don't need to be changing our bodies. I'm sorry, we don't. We're created by God. They're not ours to change in that way. We're supposed to take care of our bodies, love our bodies, not chop them up, not cut them up, not change them. We're supposed to love ourselves, we're supposed to love each other. And yeah, I mean, I had a twin in utero, okay? And I've often wondered if I think there's different reasons for a person being homosexual, right? I think you can, first off, children aren't sexual. Sexuality is something that develops over time, and it's influenced by a lot of things, okay? It's influenced by one's hormones. Okay, so a female who has more testosterone might be more led into or apt to likely to fall into the direction eventually of being attracted to other women because of hormonal reasons. We're also influenced by culture. We're also influenced by the relationship that we have with our parents. If we don't have healthy same sex or opposite sex, we don't have healthy relationships with our parents, that could lead one to look for relationships with same-sex partners in order to try to fix that. It could manifest in that way, okay? But because we are also spiritual beings, I do believe that we can also be influenced by the spirit's energy. There's all different reasons for being the same, quote-unquote, same thing. Just like you could be a person who's born unable to walk, or you could get in a car accident and be unable to walk. Or somebody could break your legs with a baseball bat. The outcome, the result is the same, but the reason for it is different, right? And I would say it's not wrong to be born unable to walk, but it's wrong to maim yourself on purpose. You see what I'm getting at? What I'm getting at is I actually do believe there are probably people who are homosexual for spiritual reasons. And they don't have to be bad reasons. It could be like the nature of your spirit is more feminine. and you happen to be in a masculine body. But then you could end up gay because your dad never gave you any attention, and you never formed that bond with a masculine figure, and then it warps into you being attracted to same-sex partners, or maybe you were molested. There's so many different reasons, okay? And the thing about it is, like, also, just we should all remember that love covers a multitude of sins. And God knows our hearts. God knows why we're doing the things we're doing, why we're engaging in the behaviors that we're engaging in, including sexual behaviors. That's on God. That's God's to decide. Like, you know, yes, we should have discernment about what is right and wrong insofar as, you know, we can look at other people's behavior and we can know if something's right or wrong in terms of their sexuality. Like, obviously it's not right for adults to be having sexual relationships with children. That's not right. It's not godly. But insofar as homosexuality, I don't know. I don't know for sure. I know that there are probably reasons that a person could be homosexual and it's not quote-unquote godly or right, in that it's coming from a place of wounding that needs to be healed. But then, just like there are human beings who are born transgender, or they're like a third type of human. That's not wrong. But it is wrong to confuse a kid on purpose and make them feel like they are that when they're not. Or that they need to change something about their body for the sake of, you know, a certain industry being able to pump them full of medications for their entire life and have a lifetime customer. That's what's going on in the world, okay? Among other nefarious things, it's an attack on people. But trans people do exist. It's a real thing. It's just not the issue that we think it is. They're not in the wrong body. They're just a different kind of human than the typical female or male. Because we're more than our bodies. That's my take on it. And I've rambled, and I've probably talked in circles, and whatever, but I've never really heard anyone, like, ask that question. Like, have you ever seen a person be born a male and then on their own naturally change into a female, or vice versa? That's not a thing that happens. Therefore, that's not what it is to be a trans person. It's to be in the wrong body. It's just to have a different experience of being human. And to recognize that requires us to recognize and honor the fact that we are not these bodies. We're more than these bodies. We're spirits.